Coming out's never easy.
Especially if you're on a sports team.
For real.
For real.
For real, for real.
For real, for real. And that's why on this episode of the Gay Rugby Podcast,
Woohoo!
we're going to be talking about our personal experiences coming out and also giving advice to people who are maybe still in the closet or struggling with their sexual identities and are looking for a more inclusive space to be themselves.
Yep. And let's get ready to rock.
Just you say it so good. Aussie.
Jack.
How's it going?
It's going. Episode 3.
Episode 3. We're here.
That means we've survived episode 1 and 2, I think.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you just tuning in, this is the Gay Rugby Podcast, where we talk about inclusivity in sports and our personal experiences joining Inclusive Gay Rugby Club and traveling the world with the international gay rugby community.
Here, here.
Yeah. So coming out.
Ugh, I know, right?
That was a long time ago for me.
Same.
Yeah.
A long time ago. How old were you when you came out?
Aussie. I was 13 years old when I came out of the closet.
My goodness. I was 18 when I came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're teenagers.
Yep.
Living our best lives, our most authentic selves. Can I ask you what your, I know it's cliche, but like, what was your coming out story?
Well, I didn't come out because I was ready. I was kind of forced out.
Wait, I totally remember your coming out story now. Okay, keep going.
So I'll try to make this as brief as possible. But when I moved away from home to go to college, my freshman year of college, I was finally able to like go out and experience gay culture. Mm-hmm. And I was coming into myself and I was accepting myself.
Yeah.
And so I remember I went out to this club and they gave me a flyer that I kept in the pocket of my jacket. Uh-huh. And it was very much a gay flyer. Like it was gay. And so, I remember being at my parents' for the weekend and my mom, being the mom that she was, wanted to wash my clothes. And so she grabbed my jacket and she was going to wash it. And when she was emptying the pockets, she saw the flyer. And so she asked.
It must have been really raunchy.
Well, it was definitely a guy in like underwear that were a little see-through, I think.
Okay. She's never read Men's Health?
No. Like gay see-through, not Men's Health see-through. There's a difference. And so that's when I had to come out. Not because I was ready, but because I was questioned about it. Mm. But I remember I had like a really, really tough time because my initial response was to like close in and say no. And I denied it. I said, oh, that's not mine. It belongs to my friend that I was hanging out with.
Lies.
It's yeah. And it wasn't. It was obviously it was mine. But I felt that if I just pinned it on someone else, that the issue would go away. Yeah. And then the response I got was, well, you know that adage, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And this was said in Spanish. Dime con quién te juntas y te diré quién eres. For those of our Spanish speakers out there. And so my mom said, if this is not the way that you are, then maybe you need to not hang out with people that are this way. Mm. And yeah, that was like really tough. Yeah. Hearing those words really, really made me feel like it was not okay. You know?
That's never a good feeling.
Mm-mm. And so I digested all of it. And my sister came in the room, my older sister, and she said, are you okay? I said, I'm fine, even though I was crying. And she said, well, if you need to talk to me, you can talk to me. You can even do it in writing if you want. And so I took pen to paper. I wrote her this long letter telling her.
What if you just drew a picture of a dick?
I mean, that would have been a lot quicker,
Sorry
right?
to interrupt an emotional
Yeah, no, it's
story.
okay. It's okay. This is what you do.
Keep going.
I wrote her this long letter saying like, I'm sorry. I'm ashamed of who I am, and I can't help that this is how I was
Definitely would have
born.
been easier.
I mean, it would have gotten the message across a lot faster. And that's how it came out. And I gave it to my sister and I said, I'm leaving. And I was trying to rush out of the house and leave.
Like forever?
Like forever. I told her, I'm
wow.
not coming back. I said, I don't want to bring shame to the family. So
That's
you won't
heavy.
see me. But it was easy for me to say that because I was not living there anymore. I was away for college. But then eventually reality would have caught up with me because what am I going to do after I was done with school, right? So I gave her the letter as I'm leaving. I went and I grabbed my stuff. And as I'm walking out the front door, my sister runs after me. She grabs me. She had already read the letter. She said, Aussie, come here. And I said, what? She says, I think you need a hug. As soon as she hugged me, I just started crying. I was like crying. And she said, Mom's in the back. She was hanging laundry to dry because she was, back then we used clothes hangers. I mean, not clothes hangers.
Yeah.
Clotheslines.
Clotheslines, but
Clotheslines.
clothes hangers.
Clothes
on the
hangers.
clothesline,
Yes. And she said, Mom wants to see you. She already knows. So I said, oh God. And so I was expecting a scolding, or at least definitely not like a warm embrace because of what she had just said to me. So I remember standing on the steps of the back porch and I said, Mom. And then she said, mijo ven pa acá. You know, honey, come over here. And so I walked over and she just grabbed me. And she told me, I don't care. I love you. And you're always going to be my son. Aww. And that's all I needed to hear. And I was just like, I turned into a baby immediately. I was like sobbing. So that's how I came out to my family.
Yeah.
What about you, Jack?
First, I just want to thank you for sharing your coming out story.
Thank you. I'm sorry it wasn't as exciting as drawing a penis on a paper, but maybe that's how you came out and I want to know the story.
I came out of the closet when I was 13. I was a freshman in high school. I was really blessed to grow up in a community and in an area where I was able to come out when I was 13.
Oh, an affluent upbringing is what I'm hearing. Go on.
More maybe just an educated community.
Wow. If that wasn't subliminal, I don't know what was.
No. But I mean, so my principal at high school, he used to say, it's easier to come out as gay at Brookline High School than it is to come out as Republican. So that gives you an idea of the type of school that I grew up in. My school's play was Romeo and Juliet, and we had two guys performing. The Westboro Baptist Church came to protest my school and that play specifically. I was cast as Lady Capulet.
Oh, I would have thought you were the nurse.
But it was all, gender bending and queer. And so, I don't know. As soon as I hit puberty, I knew I was gay. I was attracted to men. I mentioned Men's Health magazine earlier, but my dad had a Men's Health subscription. It was right there next to the toilet.
How convenient. How convenient.
It was the reading material for when you're taking a doo-doo, and so
reading? What's that?
So I kind of always knew. My aunts were lesbian, married, open. They had a daughter, and they lived in my town. So I told them first. They were very supportive. Obviously, how weird would that be if my lesbian aunts were like, get out!
Not in my house.
Not in my house. You can be a lesbian, but you can't be gay.
Stranger things have happened.
But they, told me that they supported me and that when I told my parents, when I told my family, God forbid anything happened, that I had a home with them. And so that was very helpful.
Yeah.
And I take that back. The first I'm not going to tell this. I came out to a lot of people. Obviously, you have to come out to everyone. You said this earlier. When you come out, you don't just come out once. You come out every day for the rest of your life, meeting new people. I mean, we live in a world where everyone just assumes that you're straight.
Yeah.
And so coming out isn't a thing that you do once. It's something that you do
Your
constantly.
entire life, honestly. Yeah.
Your entire life. So I guess I'll just focus on my family for this. So I came out to my aunts. They were very supportive. And then I went home that same night, and I called my mom and my dad in. I said, I need to talk to you about something. And I said...
You're Republican.
Actually, my dad would have been very happy about that. But no, what I said was, I'm gay.
Just like that. I'm gay.
Yeah, I was probably shaking and like out of breath.
No, but I'm saying
more.
that's what you communicated. You just said I am gay to.
I'm gay. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I think being able to say it.
It was so helpful.
Yeah.
It was such a breath of.
I wouldn't have been able to. Yeah. At 18, I had to write it down. I couldn't say it. You know.
Yeah.
And so, what was the reaction like?
My dad said, "How do you know?" And so I said, "Dad, how did you know that you were straight?"
Ah.
And that kind of shut him up.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
To me, at least. My mom was upset. She cried. And we talked about this later. It wasn't that she was sad that I was gay. She felt like there was going to be a lot more hardships in my life and that my life was going to be harder, and that made her sad. I personally haven't found that to be the case in my life, in my professional life, in my social life. I've always felt like being gay gave me like the leg up, you know, the in with the ladies.
Or two.
But again, that is absolutely not the case for everyone. And I was really blessed to be able to grow up in a community where I was allowed to do that. And then I think the following day, I performed a song at my freshman talent show for the entire school where I confessed my gay love for the most popular player on the football team.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was that reaction like?
Everyone loved it. You know what?
Well,
I kind of made...
Did he love it?
He stood up, went like this, and everyone's clapping for him.
That's awesome. That's great.
And he would always blow me a kiss in the hallway after that.
Oh, so you've been a slut since high school.
But I don't know. I kind of made... When I first came out, I really made being gay my personality. And I've always been very good at building a wall of humor, so I didn't have to deal with my emotions or other people's emotions. And I kind of just made like a big joke about it. Everywhere I went, I was shamelessly, I was shamelessly gay in every situation.
Even in camp?
Even at camp. You know what? No, I mean, I did. So I went to summer camp. I did come out at summer camp the last night. Everyone was very excited about it, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, all these, shirtless boys surrounding me in a circle. And they're like, so Jack, you got to tell us, man. Are you gay? And I just, I'm gay. I did it. Everyone was like, woo! I think people placed bets on it. Like,
so, see...
It's not like I was hiding it.
That never would have happened to me. I probably would have been surrounded by guys. And the minute I said, yeah, I'm gay, I would have been jumped. Like, it's such a complete contrast to what your experience was. But it just goes to show that no two experiences are the same.
No two experiences is the same. Again, I was very blessed. But even if you're not in a situation where you feel like you can do that, you can create a situation. You can change your situation and follow your dreams and find a community, whether it be online or in person or in a big city. There is hope.
or a rugby team.
Or a rugby team.
Which brings us to our next topic of conversation, coming out to our rugby teams. I know it's easy for some of us because we've experienced coming out to our families, but there are instances where players are still in the closet and they join a rugby team or an inclusive gay rugby team to help them with that journey, that journey of coming out. And so do you have any personal experiences of any teammates that you know of?
Well, I mean, I think me and you, we both were out when we joined the team. We joined the team knowing it was an inclusive rugby team. And actually, sorry, I'm going off topic a little bit. I found it interesting. We've had people play with us before and join the team before who didn't know that it was an inclusive rugby team.
Yes.
They didn't know maybe until after our first match when
the beers came
Eagle.
out.
So just a side note, the bar that we go to a lot of times with our team here in Los Angeles is the LA Eagle, which is kind of like a raunchy
it's a leather bar.
LA, a leather bar. They play dirty
They
videos
play
on the TV sometimes. Which is funny because sometimes people's moms will come to the drink up and stuff like that. So that's just kind of funny for these players. But I also think it speaks to the fact that inclusive rugby, gay rugby, it's not different than normal rugby. I mean, that's a comment that we get on social media a lot is, why don't you just play normal rugby? And that's not what it's about. It's about building community and finding your people and celebrating everybody.
Yeah. And I take issue with calling it normal rugby, right?
Yeah.
Because what makes it normal? You know, like it's just rugby. You can be gay, straight, bi, whatever part of the spectrum you're in, it's just rugby. Yeah. So let's clarify that.
But going back to your question, there's definitely been, guys that have joined the team. I remember maybe a couple months after I joined the team, first of all, y'all, okay, when I joined the team, there was a rumor going around that I was straight, which I did not appreciate.
Yeah, especially when you saw her walk away.
But we did have a team member join who was straight, which we have plenty of team members who are straight, but it was really inspiring to see their journey, joining this club, finding a home and a safe space where they could be themselves and come to terms with the fact that maybe they were gay and now are happily partnered, living their most authentic gay life. And I just think that's really, it just makes me really happy to see when someone is able to do that, and especially when they're able to do that through rugby.
And it's also humbling, right? Because you would assume that it'd be easy to come out as gay to a group of gay teammates, but it's not easy.
No, exactly.
And so it keeps us in tune with, like, not everything. We've had years to process our sexuality and accept ourselves, but other people are very early on in that journey.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool to see. And
it also speaks to how, like, ingrained homophobia is just, like, in society. 'Cause like you said, our team is mostly gay guys, but still someone coming in from the outside who hasn't experienced that didn't feel comfortable right away opening up and being themselves because of this deep homophobic rhetoric that permeates society forever.
And especially sports. I mean,
especially sports.
We don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but that is unfortunately the reality of it, that sports machismo and homophobia, they kind of all go hand in hand. And so we have been doing our part, and we'll continue to do our part to try to change that. But this is what we're dealing with at the current time. And so what other stories do you have? I know I have one more story to share about a teammate, and I hope that our teammates don't mind that we are sharing these stories, because these are our experiences.
Well, we're not saying names.
We're not saying names. And then if in the future they want to come in and talk to us,
Sure.
that'd be awesome too, because then we could hear the story from that other perspective.
I guess the one other story that I have was last season. We had a player join who, incredible rugby player, probably one of the best rugby players.
And that's the story I was going to share, but go on.
We've ever had on the team. The most intensely rugby focused person I have ever met. They were incredibly talented at rugby. And I just assumed they were straight when they joined. And maybe that's, I don't want to say homophobic, but like, what is that?
Maybe just our ignorance. I don't know.
Ignorance or preconceived like notion of people. But I mean, I just made that assumption. I didn't ask. Because also, is it rude to ask?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about having to come out every day. Like, I don't think, I mean, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, you just assume people are straight, I guess. I mean, I do. I don't know. I don't look at people and say like, I wonder if they're
when
gay
I
or
saw
straight.
you, I know.
I like how you said, when I saw you, I knew.
But anyway, going back to this player and the assumptions that I made, we ended up sharing a room at the Bingham Cup, which is a huge international gay rugby
How
tournament
convenient.
in Rome. We did not hook up.
I didn't see that.
Okay, well, your comment kind of alluded to it a little bit.
I said how convenient that you guys shared a room. Maybe I was saying.
Didn't you not share a room with anyone? Like
No.
Oh, your husband was there?
No. But I like my personal space.
Oh,
I also snore. So I'm very aware of my loud snoring, and I do not like, I don't like to share a space with anyone because I'm very particular about how I organize.
This is going to be a whole episode.
Yes.
We'll dive into it. You should see his man cave.
I like to be organized.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, I digress.
Anyway, this player, we ended up sharing a room in Rome at the Bingham Cup. We played
Ottawa?
in Rome.
Oh.
Maybe our stories are different.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, it was Rome. It was Rome.
We shared a room. We played 4 days of incredible rugby. And then at the final like party, the
closing party,
the closing ceremony, he's texting me like, "Oh, can I have the room?" Like I met a guy, and I was just so surprised and so happy and like joyful. And I was like, "Of course you can have the room." I don't think I was kicked out of the room till like 4 a.m. But I was just so happy to like see them, being themselves and like. Maybe they're always being themselves. I just was making assumptions, but it just made me happy.
As the saying goes, when in Rome.
When in Rome.
When in Rome.
Yeah. So cool. But anyway, so that's my personal coming out story. I know Aussie shared his as well. Very different ends of the spectrum. But we'd love to hear from y'all about your coming out stories, especially if you ever had to come out to your team and what that was like. So definitely make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video, and to tune in next week. Make sure to follow at the Gay Rugby Podcast on all social media platforms. Actually, I think it's just at Gay Rugby Podcast. You'll find it. It's
we'll
one of
link
those.
We'll link
it in the bio, and then the next time I'll actually know. Aussie,
Jack,
this has been a lot of fun.
It has been.
And we'll see y'all next week. So remember, don't just play the sport.
Change the
it.
sport.
Boom. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Gay Rugby Podcast. If you liked this video, do us a favor and subscribe. Hit that bell to change your preferences to notify all, and that way you'll get a notification every time a new episode comes out, which is going to be every Monday. So share this video with a friend, like, comment, and we appreciate the support. We'll catch you on the rugby pitch. See ya.